Let's talk about why overall does not matter for some positions in college football 25. If y'all enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go over to my Twitch, and also my Temple rebuild just did something crazy with it. Go check that out. So we all should be at the point in the year where we know some positions develop a lot better than others, then also certain archetype tendencies develop a lot better than others in this game. And tight end is a prime example, man. We all know the blocking tight end is the best tight end in the game when it comes to overall. You see a guy here, 98 overall, 99 overall with the boost, and he's amazing tight end. Like, catching is solid. The speed actually developed to be in a pretty good spot for him to be a blocking tight end. Like, this is a great player right here. Look at his skill caps, and it's not that bad. Like, he's a great player. But you look at the rest of these blocking tight ends, you see the reality for majority of the blocking tight ends that get high in overall, they don't develop the speed. They just don't usually, and they don't develop great catching ability. And you see here, like, we got a tight end, he's a 92 overall, 72 speed, 72 catching. And you look at his route running also not good. Like, he is a great tight end when it comes to the running game, but he is not a good receiving tight end. So what I'm saying is, overall for positions like tight end doesn't really matter unless you want a guy that's gonna get drafted, and that very well could be a good thing to have, especially because it just helps your pro potential. So it's always good to have a blocking tight end on your roster, but when you decide on who you want to start, I think you should consider more so a vertical threat tight end or even a possession tight end. You see here, we actually got two guys that actually developed 80 or 91 overall. He's an 87 before the boost, and then also this other guy's an 87 before the boost. But they're good tight ends, vertical threat, and then also possession tight end, and they're gonna have better attributes when it comes to the receiving game, man. All depends on your offense. I'm a guy that like to pass the ball, so having a tight end with great route running, great hands, and great speed, like, this is almost like the Vernon Davis type, 88 speed, up that to 91. That's like a Vernon Davis type tight end right here. Maybe a little bit more catching, but this is a great tight end right here. And there's not many of them, man. You scroll down, you're not going to see many vertical tight ends in the top, just tight ends in the whole entire game. We got lucky with that one guy being all the way up to like a 92. We got to scroll a good while all the way down here. He's an 86 overall, 83 before the boost, but still, he is a very good player when it comes to him catching the ball and being an excellent tight end in the receiving game. So it all depends what you want, and the blocking is not terrible. Like, it's not good, but it's not terrible. 78 is pretty good for run blocking, man, for a vertical threat tight end. Like, this is doable. They overall do not get in, the upper 90s like you see with these other blocking tight ends, but these vertical threat tight ends, when it comes pound for pound production, I believe the vertical threat and the possession tight end are way better than the blocking. The blocking just gets up in overall, but their attributes are not all that appealing unless you're a super run heavy team. Like, this running stats are crazy on some of these blocking tight ends. They can damn near play left tackle. Just how high their blocking is. Even their strength get pretty high. 82 strength, that's higher than some linemen in this game. So when you're considering who to start at tight end, I suggest going with a vertical threat or a possession tight end. And I think about my Temple series, man. For the last 5 years of my Temple series, we had the same tight end. He'd been a 79 overall. He has been maxed out as a 79, and he started the entire 5 year. Or no, he started 4 years. We redshirted him his freshman year, and he started ever since. And he was a physical receiver, moved over to tight end, and he, was maxed out when it comes to his skill caps. But he won 2 tight end of the year awards, went over 1,000 yards receiving, a great tight end for us, and he never seemed like a super liability in the receive or in the running game. So he's actually doing pretty solid on blocking. But I love that, man. I love that. He's a 79 overall, like I said, not developed anymore, but he's literally the best tight end in the game because the attributes matter a lot more than the overall rating, especially for this tight end position, man. Like I said, I think it's worth having a blocking tight end on your roster, but also I'll consider starting the possession or vertical threat, just having a blocking so you continue to build that pro potential and you have a player that's going to get drafted. He could be the backup tight end, man. He'll be a great backup tight end having these blocking tight ends. So the next position I want to talk about is going to be your safeties, man. And y'all should know at this point, hybrid safeties, They don't develop. They do not develop. So right here, we're looking at all the safeties in the league, and we're starting at the top. So 92 overall is the highest overall safety right now. We have to scroll. Look at the tendencies. Look how long we have to scroll to get to the first hybrid safety. But I still think the hybrid safety is the best for gameplay, man. They develop the best, or not develop, but they just have the best overall attributes usually. This guy right here, not great. You know, when it comes to his man and press coverage, I like my safeties to have both, just because I would run man defense and my safety will have to guard someone a lot of the times, man. I will run a man blitz. They might have to guard the tight end. They might have to guard the slot receiver. It just depends. And then also these hybrid safeties come in with some pretty good speed. The tackling is still solid. The catching is all good. Especially you get a wide receiver, one of them athlete, physical wide receivers, and move them over to safety. I love that. I love that because they're going to come in, like I said, with good catching, good coverage on both sides, man and zone, and then also they're gonna come with some good speed because they are former wide receiver. So I usually like to play this hybrid safeties as my starter, even though I know they will not develop. They might not be the highest overall, but you get you a guy like this. And this is what I look for my safeties, man. I don't want 90 zone and 60 man like you see with a safety right here who is a zone safety, literally 91 zone, 61 man. Like for me, I play both. I need my safety to cover and man a little bit, and these hybrid safeties does exactly that. He also got some solid strength, the elite speed, 93 speed for the safety. The tackling is not out this world. He got a little hit power on him. Like, this is a good player. For me, this is a player that should be higher than an 81 overall. He should. I think so. And also, when it comes to just upgrading, it's the same category for them to upgrade their zone and man coverage. You see here, it's called pass coverage, and it upgrades man, zone, and press all in one. Compared to these other archetypes, it'll upgrade a little differently. You go to zone. Their zone will upgrade in one, and then their man will upgrade in another category, and that's what leads to pretty much is not upgrading evenly. They'll only upgrade their zone coverage. This is 96 on the zone coverage. The man coverage at 62. It's like this man's a 92 overall, but he cannot cover in man whatsoever. To be fair, he is a safety, and safeties are usually not good in man. But like I said, in my defense, I need that. So, you know, just base it off whatever defense you run. But you see here, most of these corner or these safeties do not have any man coverage whatsoever. The zone coverage out this world. Even the run support, they develop some zone coverage, or yeah, some zone coverage, but the man coverages do not develop. 99 on the zone coverage for this guy Sam right here, 69 on the man. It's like, damn, we just can't develop both evenly. You get a guy right here, run support, at least is 80, 87. Like, this is a solid safety. Then you go look at the speed, 84 speed. But point is, don't just go by overall for these positions, man. Make sure you're looking at, like, this is actually a solid guy. Speed is also a little bit too low for me, but at least the coverages are in a better spot. All right, so let's move over to corner, and this is my first time seeing it. I did not know this. Slot corners are the best corners in the game. I'm calling it now. I've been on their wave for probably a couple months now. To start the year, I'm be honest, I ain't like slot corners. I thought they was the worst. I think they're the best in the game, and this is my proof. Hear me out. So they develop both evenly. That's one thing I love about, man. They usually get the zone coverage and the man coverage. The only issue, sometimes their speed be on the lower side, but you got a guy like this who has 99 speed, 99 cell, 99 agility, 99 change of direction. He's an animal. Best cornerback in the league for a reason. First of all, I don't know what Virginia Tech got going on, because they have two of the top two corners in the league. They literally have the best two corners in the league on the same team, and it's Virginia Tech. I don't know what they got going on in this rebuild. But that's beside the point, man. But the reason I'm saying slot corners are the best, not just because they're attributes, they're also the highest overalls. Like, let's look here, man. Let's just scroll down. These are the top corners in the league, and you'll see how many of these corners are slot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The top 10 corners in the league right now are all slot corners in this dynasty. Then you get to 11, you get a zone corner, then you back to the slot corners. Like, I did not realize the slot corners was this dominant when it comes to just having the highest overall. Like, it's almost like compared to like the blocking tight end. I did not realize this. You know, I like the slot corners, like I said, for a little while now, but did not realize it was this good. And I think my issue with the zone and man corners, a lot of times they don't develop the other one. So this guy right here, he's the 88 overall, and he actually developed the man coverage a little bit. 97 on the zone, 82 on the man. Me personally, I would rather like 90-90, you know, somewhere in that range. But this is doable. I could work with this. But let's continue to scroll, especially when you get to lower overalls. A lot of these guys, it'll be super split, like the stats. And you get a guy like this, man, he's an 89 overall, 94 zone, 76 on the man. Like, come on, man. Press coverage is also low. He do got the 97 speed, but he's a liability in man coverage. And that happens so often with these man-to-man and zone corners. You look here, a man corner, 89 overall, 96 on the speed, 97 on the man, 75 on the zone. It's a common theme, man. At least with the slot corner, they got the potential to get guys like this who has, you know, not great speed, 89 on the speed, but the zone and man coverage are at least even, 87. That's a great number. I like that. But yeah, so that's why I'm saying just make sure you're paying attention to the actual stats for these cornerbacks, man. First of all, this guy right here, a dog. Red shirt freshman, he's an 89 overall, 99 speed, zone corner, 96 zone coverage. He's a dog. As long as that man coverage, he got a couple years to develop it before he graduates. But also one thing to consider, I think I'm gonna make a whole video on this. I think sometimes skill caps benefit certain position groups. I think cornerback is a prime example of that, man. If you get a guy with some high skill caps at corner, it could literally benefit you. It could benefit you. And I want to see if I can find an example of it. Give me 1 second. All right, so I found an example of where the skill caps could actually be a benefit for this cornerback position. I think there's also other examples at other positions where skill caps could almost be a benefit. But we got a 4-star development corner from Alabama, and you see here he's a man-to-man corner, but his man coverage got maxed out on the earlier side. But because he got maxed out at 87 overall, which is a solid number for me, 87 and 89 press, change of direction 93, awareness is a little bit low. Wish that could have got a little bit higher, but the man coverage and press coverage, the coverage ratings are pretty good for this to max out, for me at least. But the good thing about this, when it max out, it seems like these corners just want to upgrade whatever like their archetype is. So if it's man, they want to upgrade man. If it's zone, they want to upgrade zone. But since this guy got maxed out pretty early, he started upgrading his zone coverage. The zone coverage is actually up to an 82 for a man corner, 87 man, 82 zone. Like, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. You'll get this a lot often with the slot corners, but because he maxed out the man coverage early, he started developing the zone. Instead of getting this man coverage all the way to 96 and the zone coverage staying at like 70, he actually developed both. So this is an example, I would say, where the cap breakers could almost be a little bit more useful and just allow the player to get more well-rounded. And like I said, there's other examples of this as well. All right, so the last position group I want to talk about is going to be D lineman. I could go over like every single, but D lineman is also one you got to be conscious of their not just their overall, but their stats. You know, you got to figure out what you value, man. Do you run a 3-4? Do you run a 4-3? Do I want, you know, someone high block shedding for my defensive end? You know, if I do, I'm probably running a 3-4 because they're playing more inside. But let's just say we're running a 4-3 and we're looking for a real edge rusher, someone that can rush the passer. And when you're going through, you can't just always go by the highest overall because we're looking at all these players. I'm looking at the power moves, the finesse moves. I'm also looking at the speed, the acceleration, even the strength. The strength is pretty important. Block shedding, tackling, not so much. I'm not looking for that also that much. Also hit power, not really looking for that as much. I'd rather, you know, some of these other stuff that I mentioned earlier. But, you know, looking at overall, for me personally, I gotta scroll down till I find the best defensive end, in my opinion, pass rusher in this whole entire class. And you scroll all the way down, I'm gonna say it's this guy right here, Carl. He's only an 85 overall, true overall. I know my face cam is blocking it. He's an 89 with the boost, so he's getting a 4 overall plus. But you look at his speed, 83, not amazing. It's not amazing. It's good though. 86 acceleration, solid. Agility 85. The strength is on the lower side. I don't need my DNs to be super strong. I don't. I need him to rush the passer. And he could do that. He could for sure do that, man. Play recognition. The power moves is 96 and the finesse moves 90. Or power moves 92, finesse moves 96. He is a phenomenal pass rusher. He's the best pass rusher in this whole entire left end room in the whole game. Like, just looking through, he's the most balanced on both sides, man. I prefer a pass rusher that could do both. That could literally do both, man. From my experience, that is what I get the most success when I have a power moves and then also a high finesse moves coming out the edge. So I like that. So yeah, I said I would consider him the best edge rusher out of everyone. And you know, maybe you value the strength a little bit more, and you consider, you know, maybe one of these other guys the best edge rushers. But I don't. Like I said, I don't. I think, you know, this guy is also very good in my book, man, because he do have the highest strength, and then also 90, 879 on the block shedding, a little bit low, but it's fine. He's an edge rusher. Don't need it super high. But the finesse and power moves are pretty high with the good strength. So this guy is also, I would consider, elite. All these guys are not the same, even though their overall is very similar. Alright, man, that's all I got for y'all today. If y'all enjoyed the video, learned anything at all, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know what y'all want to see next, and go over, check out my temple rebuild. We're going crazy with that. And click the video on the screen now for my temple rebuild.